DeSantis eats like an animal and does what Ms. DeSantis tells him. Ron DeSantis is about to run for president. Of course, he still has to beat Trump in the primaries. But DeSantis certainly has a shot at the White House. Here are some less-known things about him. 1. His wife is his co-governor. Florida's First Lady, Casey DeSantis, is not widely known, but her role in her husband's career has been crucial. Casey is Ron's primary image maker. She curates his social media appearances. Some even say Ron would be no one without her. Scott Parkinson, DeSantis' former chief of staff, says,
"She's the X factor. Without Casey, he would not be the same person."
Ron never speaks to his staffers without Casey present. She coordinates his campaigns. She led the relief effort after Florida was hit by Hurricane Ian. As a former talk show producer, Casey knows her PR. In 2021, she was diagnosed with breast cancer. Casey briefly disappeared from public view. Ron's ratings plunge, but she came back stronger than ever, setting things right.
She humanizes Ron.
A former DeSantis congressional aide says,
And humanizing Ron is a pretty difficult thing to do. He is a pretty robotic person.
2. Ron DeSantis has strange table manners. Another former staffer described it rather bluntly.
He would sit in meetings and eat in front of people, always like a starving animal who has never eaten before, getting everywhere.
In 2019, DeSantis took a private plane from Tallahassee to D.C. He ate a chocolate pudding dessert with 3 fingers. His entourage was somewhat put off. 3. DeSantis doesn't remember the names of his staff. This is from another staffer.
People who were traveling with Ron every day, who worked with him very closely over the years, to this day joke about how it was always an open question whether or not Ron knew their names.
The staffer himself has defected to Trump. He says most former DeSantis aides feel pure hatred for the governor. They even formed an informal support group. It's a way to vent their frustrations with the way Ron treats them.
I once had to drive him to the airport.
A former aide says,
We got stuck in traffic for an hour, and he didn't say a word. I describe him as having the personality of a piece of paper.
4. DeSantis forgets to thank his donors. New York billionaire John Casimides used to be Team DeSantis, but he's now backing Trump. His reason:
Why would I support somebody to become president of the United States that doesn't return phone calls?
a Republican strategist complains that Ron never says thank you.
He's missing the sociability gene. He doesn't do the warm and fuzzies well. I was at a fundraiser in D.C. where he was like 2 hours late.
5. DeSantis is trying to remove a judge. Disney publicly objected to DeSantis's Don't Say Gay bill. It bans the discussion of sexual identity in school. Disney issued a statement criticizing the bill. DeSantis immediately revoked their tax privileges in Florida. Disney sued, accusing him of weaponizing the government. Now DeSantis is trying to get the presiding judge disqualified. Chief Judge Mark Walker once said outside the court,
Is there anything in the record that says we are now going to take away Disney's special status because they are woke?
DeSantis claims this is evidence of prejudice. What does Ron DeSantis say to all these charges?
It's interesting. There's a lot of people when they go at you. Sometimes they have really good ammunition, like you're a crook. You did this, you did that. For me, they're talking about pudding. Really? Is that the best you got? Bring it on.